Great. Now that you've got your receptionist set up, let's head over to the business offerings, which is your products and services. So right now we don't have any in this account. And this account, the business name is Lawn Care R Us. So I'm going to add a new offering. Now when you add a new offering, you can think of this kind of like if you were to hire an expert in your industry, but they didn't know the details in which your services function. So you give them a PDF that's printed and laminated so that every time they answer the phone, they can flip through their cheat sheet to know how to offer the service, what's included, what's not included, or anything like that. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a offer for a pre-emergent, right? So pre-emergent is stuff that you spray on the ground and it will stop anything from growing there. A lot of cities like this, when they have vacant lots, they don't want the lots to be overrun with weeds and look like an eyesore. So they'll hire a company to come out and spray pre-emergent. So I've got a confession. I do not know how to spell pre-emergent. I'm going to Google it real quick. Okay. I would have been correct if I would have just went for it. Pre-emergent. So is this a service or a product? Well, it's a service. General description. We'll come out and spray to make sure that no weeds grow in the areas that you want to have free of any and all vegetation. Okay. So, details to collect. So each service type is going to be different. Sometimes you want a service, sometimes you need certain information to be successful on a service or to quote the service correctly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and do details to collect, and I'm going to say, I want to know their first name. I want to also know their last name. And then I want to know the service address, like where am I going to send my crew? And then I might want to know something like lot size. And I could say something like desired time frame. And I could say something like, is this a commercial or residential? Okay. So I've got all those details to collect. Now if I go into the details of the product or service. Now, some of you guys might be like, well, it's pre-emergent, I just go out and I spray. However, sometimes people have a lot of questions, and you can add in a ton of detail here. And you can think of it kind of like if the questions are asked to the AI, then it has specific information to provide versus it just making things up. So if I come into here and I add details of the product or service, then I can say something like step-by-step process. And then you can think of this like bullet points. So the title is step-by-step process. And I can do like 1, we show up and remove all debris. You guys are going to learn in these tutorials that I cannot spell to save my life. We show up and remove all debris to make sure the ground is clear before we begin treatment. Then I'm going to come up here and add a bullet point, and I'm going to say 2. Then we cut down any overgrown vegetation. Then we cut down any overgrown vegetation. 3, we apply the treatment. 4, we set up signs so that people know not to walk on the treated areas. 5, come back in 2 weeks to inspect and retreat any areas that didn't quite take. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create that. Now, if a customer says, well, what do you guys do actually? Then our AI knows a step-by-step process, and it's like, wow, this is professional. Okay, let's go down to the pricing details. So if you guys don't want the AI receptionist to discuss pricing, all we do is say, do not quote. Now, when a customer says, hey, can I get a quote? And the AI says, I can't give you a quote, the customer is going to be like, why not? So we've got to give them a reason, something to say instead. Instead of providing a quote, let them know that we need to send out a technician to get eyes on the property to make sure that it can be treated. This is a free inspection. So I can do something like that. And now my AI will know what to say. Now, if I had a very complex pricing, then I can say estimates. And I can say if the lot is between 500 square feet and 1,500 square feet, then the price will be about $300. Now, I don't quite know, but I can go ahead and add all of those estimates in there too. So if someone's like, well, can you give me an estimate? I can't give you a quote, but I can give you an estimate. And now our AI knows how to do that. Now let's go down to appointment strategy. In your appointment strategy, you can actually connect third-party integrations, which we'll go over later. And it can actually write to your calendar, double check that there's availability. It's awesome. But in this case, we're going to say no calendar, just general time slots. So how long is the appointment duration? Is it going to be 60 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours, about 90 minutes? Can they book the same day? No, we'll give them, I at least need a day. And then I don't want them to book more than 5 days out. And then when can they book? 9 a.m. to 5, Sunday, Saturday at close. Yeah, that looks good to me. And that is how you add in all of the details you can possibly think of for this service. Click on save. We've got an awesome success here. I'm going to refresh this page so we'll be able to see in our pre-emergent services. Awesome. So now we have an AI receptionist that knows how to sell our services. We have one service. We'd go in and add a couple more. And now what we need to do next is head over to business details so the AI knows how to talk about our business in the exact same way that we talk about our business.